Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Top Producer webinar. Today, we're just going to get started here. I was a little bit slow on it, was taking care of some things behind the scenes, so I do appreciate your patience while we were getting all that taken care of. Once again, we're going to be doing our 4 things you'll want to know after you set up Top Producer X webinar. With me today is my lovely co-host, Heather, who I'm hoping, yep, there she is. She's got her camera on so she can say hi to you, and you guys can get to see 2 of the people behind the Top Producer screens. So Heather and I will take questions throughout the presentation because we love it being interactive. So what you can do is in Zoom, if you click on the chat, you can send messages. If I don't happen to catch them out of the corner of my eye, which I do try to see if I can beat Heather to the punch, she will answer them in there, or she might even just tell me to be quiet for a second and she'll talk to you as well. It's a really good relationship we got here where if she has something important to tell, she'll just say, hey, shut up, Glenn, it's my turn.
I like to try and interrupt time to time. Also, quick note, hopefully this doesn't happen. I did take my puppy out before we started the Zoom, but she decided she just wanted to play in the snow. So here's fingers crossed she doesn't get in our way. We have an hour.
So there you go, everybody. If all of a sudden Heather disappears, it was a puppy emergency, which we obviously have no problem with. And I will just be solo and here, and you guys can abuse just me. So any questions, like I said, just go on over to the Zoom down at the bottom. Ignore this YouTube stuff. I need to get my copywriter there to remove that because the fact we don't stream to YouTube anymore. We just do share it to our YouTube channel afterwards. So any questions, and if you do need to review this, it will be back up on YouTube later. As always, if you ever need help, you can always get a hold of our customer care team from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time using either the bottom right corner of your CRM or going to support.topproducer.com and clicking on the live chat that's in the bottom there as well. Do keep in mind 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday Pacific Standard Time. If you do have an issue that is not time critical, you can send us an email at support@topproducer.com. Please do give us up to 48 hours to complete this. We do try to get them done as quickly as possible. However, we do have to ask that you give us a little bit of time. Normally, it's within 24 hours. We did have a little bit of a backlog because of the couple of holidays that we just had recently, which nobody knows there was a couple of holidays recently, do they, Heather?
Yeah, it kind of went by really fast. I don't know what happened.
Exactly. So we will make sure we get to you though. So today we're going to go over a couple of very important things. We're going to go over how to organize your contacts using statuses and types, simplify your database management with the follow-up coach, easily communicate with your clients, and record details and schedule tasks. And just to make sure that she's on the ball, every now and then, I'm just going to try to catch Heather and see how well that she can keep up with me.
I'll try.
I got much faith in you. So again, if you have any questions, let us know. So one of the very first and foremost things we like to mention to people is your business pipeline. And using your statuses and types are going to make it so much easier to keep your database organized and to make sure that you don't miss anybody. We don't want anyone to fall through the cracks. So what we have done is we have created, with feedback, 5 very specific titles, so statuses, and then we've created a few contact types. However, a lot of these are better done when you create them yourself. So you can always get your leads, your active buyers or sellers, your past clients, they're always going to be found there. In your contact types, if you have somebody who specifically buys condos or a family that is looking to expand the footprint of their home, you're able to make a contact type to cover that. So let's go over into Top Producer X.
And I'm just going to jump in there for a quick second. So when we say contact types, a lot of you might also know it as tags. So definitely 100%, I always suggest, and chances are when you've brought in your contacts, If you've been an agent for a while and you already have them listed on a file somewhere, when you bring them over, chances are you already have your tags and they will come in. But I always suggest using them because when you have hundreds of contacts, thousands of contacts, you want to be able to quickly search for them and not be strolling through thousands of them and trying to figure out who's who and by first and remembering somebody's first name. So always use those types. It's just going to make it so much easier. So let's give them some examples.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about having Heather here with me. She covers the things that I don't always come up with first. So you'll notice right now, I'm looking here at oddly a blank tab because I don't presently have any new contacts. That makes me a sad realtor. Thankfully, I'm a tech support person, so I'm not really that upset. But you guys, you only want to see this empty after you've had a chance to go through it and look at your clients. Now, once you get them, the first thing you have to do is find out, are they a legitimate lead? Are they somebody you're going to be working with? So that's when you go into engaged. So I've reached out to these folks and found out that we might be able to work together. They may be looking for a home in the next few months. They may be looking for a home in the next year. So I put them engaged because I have actually talked to them, but we haven't exactly nailed down what they're going to be doing. These next two statuses, active and future. This is where you would go once somebody is an active client. You've signed with them, you've got the agreement in place, and you're going to start working together. You're going to put them here active because that is the group that you're mostly going to be working with, because once you get a new lead, you're going to get them in either active or future. So active is everybody who right now is working with you and going to be able to assist you with anything you need. Or not, no, you'll be able to assist them with anything they need. Caught myself before you got me.
Too quick for me. But you know what? I would say that with the new tab, and you said you're sad because it's empty, but you know what? Instead of looking at it that way, you're actually on top of your contacts and you're being in touch with them. So your new tab should either always be empty, if not very few in there. Because when you have anyone in the new, that just means you haven't communicated with them yet and you don't want to leave anyone hanging. So I would think that your new tab being empty is not ever always a bad thing. You're in touch with your contacts.
That's a perfect way to look at it. That's a good call, Heather. So there you go. I'm no longer sad. I'm happy that I'm actually keeping up to my contacts, even though it says I haven't talked to somebody since February of 2022. We'll ignore that last. We'll ignore that last action. But the thing is, these people were not, they were active, but not as active. And you can see I'm overdue because I was supposed to follow up 3 days after. Now, let's say you have somebody who says to you, well, I'd like to move. I'm in the process of setting up my financing and also looking to see what it's like, but I'm not ready right now. I might have a promotion or something like that. These are people you want to put in future. The reason you put them in future is they're not going to be working with you right now, but you want to maintain that contact, that relationship with them. By putting them in future, you'll still have them in your database. You will still be contacting them as part of your team, or not team, your leads. And you'll still make sure that when it is time for them to sell, they're going to think of you first. So future and active are two of the most important tabs we have. They're going to help with your daily workload and day-to-day information. And finally, the one we all look forward to, closed. This means you have done everything. You've got
some money.
Yeah, I know it's a great, the money bag icon there, just saying that you've sold everything and here you're happy and you're in good shape. Now, how do you make sure, like I said before, that you have people in the right place? I'm going to go to this one contact here that was testing my patience one day, hence the name. I'm also a comedian on the side, not really very well, but we'll go with it. But I called them test patients. But then I got a very good suggestion from my co-host here of different ways to put contact types in. So perhaps Heather would like to take the reins on this since she is the preeminent expert on the best contact types to use.
Contact types and the tabs along the contact status bar. So this is probably one of my favorite ways of organizing. So you do have, like what we just went over was more like this contact status, but like you might also know it as the sales pipeline. So let's just say, you know, I get a lot of people I talk to and they're like, well, I have like my favorites group. Maybe you call it an A list, a B list, C list, your past clients, your SOIs. So this is where you're going to add those types or also a tag to those contacts. And then what we can do is create to have a quick access to all those customers, like say your SOIs, to have a quick access to them. Then we can add an additional tab to your contact status bar, just to, again, organizing it. Once you bring them all up, then you can select them all, send them all an email. Just makes your life a lot quicker. So when you first start out, put in the work, and well, let's do a test one, Glenn, so we can show them what we're saying here.
Okay.
So we're gonna say you're on your main contact here, and you've got a, what do we have for types?
We got a lot.
Okay.
Do you want to use the favorite one that I always use?
Is that Heather's demo?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So we're going to use these. These are my favorite contacts, or Glenn's favorite contacts. So we're going to use this, and we want to be able to search them much quicker every time we come into our system. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this little, looks like a gear settings icon, and we're going to create a tab, and we're going to call it Heather's demo or favorites, or whatever you want the tab to be called. Perfect. And then we're going to put that type with the label. And you can also add additional. So let's just say I want some other ones under Heather's demo, like multiple types. So let's add all the buyers. I'll take the buyers.
Buyers. Okay.
Or military family.
I was trying to.
I was a part of a military family, so.
I was just trying to see. Okay.
If I'm paying attention.
You want
So
anyone
let's
else
read-
added? Just, hey,
Sorry?
do you want anyone else added, or just those two?
We'll go with these two for now. So
Okay.
this just gives an idea. We're adding these two types to this tab that we just created. So now we're going to have this new tab across the top that we just created, Heather's demos, and it's going to give me all those contacts that I chose with that type. Again, it's just a quick and easy way to access them. Another really great thing that you can do is that when you sign in, let's just say these are your go-to people all the time. When you sign in, you can make this tab your default tab. So as soon as you sign in, you always see them right away. Now, just also take note, and you can, if you decide, I don't want this tab anymore, you can easily delete it. But before we do that, Glenn, I just want people to realize that even though you have your contacts under Heather's demo or whatever contact type or tag you decide to use, these contacts can still either be in engage, active, future, or closed, because that's your sales pipeline, the status that they're in at the time. This tab over here that we just created, that's just your quick access to your certain customers that you want to engage with more often. So now that we're in this tab, I want to send them all a quick email. You can just either, yeah, exactly, choose them all or most of them. And then we're going to select the email to send to those customers. Now, and if I also, this customers on my quick easy tab here, I want to add now another type, I can also do that as well. So you can do mass action with the label that you just created for your quick easy contacts.
Those are all along here. You can add another contact type, add to your contact sync if they're not already. You can send a group email, apply task plan, or delete. Nancy Chu asked, can I get a copy of the recording for this class? It will be up on YouTube after we're done. Heather and I will make sure that it's up there. I think we forgot to do Tuesdays, Heather, so we got to take care of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, because of the fact that we've got this here, I'm going to do the thing that I always get a good chuckle out of. As Heather mentioned, you can move this around. So let's say we want this to be at the very front. So when you come in, you're going to see your tab right here. If all of a sudden you decide you don't need that tab anymore, well, I'm deleting you, Heather, tossing you to the trash. Drop it down here. Once it goes red, let go, and it'll ask if you want to delete. you can always recreate it. It's not gone forever. So there you go.
I think it's probably one of my favorite parts is that you can really customize this to fit you and your business rather than coming in. Like, we do have some things already available for you, which is, still beneficial, but again, make it your own.
Yeah. And like you just saw me do, you can always rearrange all of these. So like favorites, you could throw at the back. Follow-up coach could be first, followed by new. And all I'm doing to do this is I'm clicking on the one I want, holding the mouse button and moving it.
And make whichever one is more important to you your default. So when you log in, that's what you see first.
So we'll get to this one, but I'm going to set it as default. But here's the thing. You can also click here and reset tabs back to the default they were. And there you go. It's back to the way it was originally. So that's statuses and contact types. Any questions on that, folks? Because as you can see, you've got an expert in going over this and then me as well.
Now, if I can only just get my life that organized.
You and me both. You and me both. Maybe we should start using Top Producer for our own lives, right? The best part about this is we're 3 hours different because I'm on the West Coast and Heather's back east. So I like to confuse her by using Pacific times, and she likes to confuse me by using Eastern times.
Yes, good afternoon from the East Coast.
Exactly.
We're getting dumped on with snow at the moment.
No. And here we are, we're getting dumped on with rain. But the other advantage is because if we were to use Top Producer to communicate, I would actually be getting my information in my time and she'd be getting it in hers. So there would be no confusion.
Absolutely.
Another little one of those quick tips that just popped into my head that I thought I would share. So let's see the next thing. Now, this is a really important and great tool that we have created in Top Producer. It's been around for a long time, and it's one of those staples of the industry that actually helps more than a lot of other parts. One of the biggest issues a lot of people run into is they sit there and go, well, I've got these contacts, but who do I follow up with? How do I get the best follow-up to make sure that my name is there to help create the repeat business, the referral business? I mean, how is it some agents that you talk to will be able to sit there and say, oh yeah, I've been working with I remember selling to the one family, and then I sold to their son, and then I'm selling to the grandson today. It's because of keeping up with the follow-up. Now, one of the reasons we created this is we were told one time that figuring out the best people to follow up with was one of the hardest decisions. So we've simplified it for you. Let me go back over here and go to follow-up coach. Now, I'm going to read Heather's mind. There's a button here that says skip.
Forget it.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's not really there. What skipping a contact would do is send it to the very bottom of your list. And a lot of contacts, like the way we look at them, your sphere of influence, because of the fact that it is somebody that you've worked with and you may already have a communication with, we only recommend them every 180 days. So half a year. If you skip somebody, they're going to go to the end and not be showing up until that person comes by. But here's the best part of this. If you were to work just 300 days of the year, which I know the better answer is closer to 360 days a year for realtors. If you only did 300, you'd talk to 1,500 people in the year. I think if we go to 360, it comes closer to 1,800. If you look up here, I have a total of 936 contacts in my database. Some of them are set as non-contact, which means that I wouldn't do marketing with them. So if I go down to the fact that 36 of them are non-contact, if I were to just use the follow-up coach every day, I'm going to have 2 contacts minimum with everybody in my database in 1 year. Think about that, how simple and easy. And you click on it here, like this one here, Tony Alfred, or Alfred Tone. It's part of my sphere. So let's click on it. So let's say I ran into Alfred the other day and I want to say, hey, I ran into him. We had a good contact or conversation and he's actually ready to start looking for a home. What I want to do is I want to quickly set them as active. So I know they're active. And then I want to
send him a market snapshot.
Yeah, exactly. You could send a market snapshot, or I love that enthusiasm. That's awesome. Good thought. Market snapshots are one of the greatest ways to create that follow-up as well. If you don't have market snapshot, let us know. We can have somebody reach out and explain it to you. But for now,
he did say that he was interested in buying a new home. So I think, you know, during that conversation, likelihood you got his preferences, what he's interested in. And then that way, when you send in the market snapshot, you can show him all of his interests, which are active and for sale. So gets the ball rolling.
Absolutely. And the other advantage is he'll see what has sold recently. So you've already got the numbers to say, hey, this is what your house is worth in comparison to everybody else. So you can either say, hey, we need to do a couple of fix-ups to really make it pop, or you can just say, hey, your property is better than most of the ones that have been sold recently. We're going to get top dollar. So that is something, if you have Snapshot, you can definitely click on that and do that. What I would do is, since he just spoke to you now, I would click on Mark Done. And I would, you know, if you click on Snapshot, you could say that, but I'm just going to call it a call because we talk to each other. And I'm going to say ran into Alfred. He's now looking again. Set to active. Now, the reason I'm making these notes is it's always good to have that for, you know, so you know exactly what happened.
You're making these notes for your own peace of mind. So, you know, you don't want to just put them to active and not make any notes, and you open them and think, oh, okay, who is he? Why is he active? Where, like, this is again for you. The more information you give yourself when you open up the his account, the less, you know, you have it ready for you, right? And it saves you time in the long run.
The less headaches. I think that's the word you were looking for, Heather. This will cause the less headaches for you, because that way you've already got the info. And even better, I can do this, and then I can click on schedule a follow-up here. And let's say I'm going to do a call in today's Thursday. Let's say I'm going to call him on Monday and say, I'll tell him, you know what, let's call on Monday, set up a time for an appointment and start actually looking to see what we can get you. So then you can also, on that description, call Alfred, start call rolling on home services, because, you know, you may be helping them sell, you may be helping them buy, depending on whichever way it goes. Make sure now, if you have a team, you can choose which agent you're going to assign this to. I'm, of course, going to assign it to me because I want this sale. And then I click Save Wrap Up. Ignore this little thing down at the bottom. Most of the time, you're not going to see that. You see it on my account because I seriously need to redo my account because I beat it up. But you'll notice here, most recent note, I ran into him and I set it to active. Right here, last action, task completed. And then we can just click Mark Done again. It didn't mark that done, but if I close, it will have all this information here. It's as simple as that. And then refresh the list. You'll notice he's gone. I now have four of them that were there previous, but one brand new contact. It was quick and easy. The only reason it took a little bit longer is because we were trying to decide how we were going to explain what we did or how we did, because I was just doing this off the top of my head. You guys will have this all ready and available to go right off the bat. 5 a day. You could probably, let's say, morning coffee while you're sitting there having your morning coffee, or tea, depending on your preference.
Couple clicks.
Yeah, a couple of clicks and you're done. You've gone through 5, and now you have 5 new people that day that may not have heard from you in months or even weeks. And all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I was just thinking about real estate, and they've got your name right on the tip of their tongue. So that makes it easier. Again, 15, 20 minutes in the morning, having your morning coffee and your morning tea or breakfast, and you're taken care of. Do you think, Heather, got anything else to add to that one? Or I see you've muted. Did your puppy come in to say hi? You're muted, Heather.
Sorry, no, she hasn't come in. We're good.
Okay. When I see you go muted, I thought you had a puppy invasion. I was going to tell you to show the baby to everybody.
She is a cute, well, she's not a puppy. She's 2.5 years old, but she's my puppy. She will always be my puppy.
My dog's 9. I call her my puppy. So I got it. I get it. So hopefully that makes total sense on the follow-up coach. If you have any questions, please let us know. Again, we do have the chat open for you to ask questions, and we're here to assist because we enjoy assisting and talking about this stuff. But with that, let's go over to the next one. This is one of those cool ones that are very helpful. You have emails that you send to people. You have text messages you send to people. Maybe you send a similar message frequently to remind somebody of what you do or your services, or just to, keep yourself top of mind. We have created for you templates that are used both for email and texting. Quick little footnote here. I do apologize. The texting is US only. So those of us here in Canada cannot do that. But we're hoping to one day have that. However, the email templates are something that you can have, you can create, you can use the ones we have, or even make your own. So let's jump over to that.
And with that being said, I do always suggest making your own and or customizing them. The reason I suggest this is that anytime you're sending out emails, you're sending out a part of your business, your name, it's a form of marketing, right? So even though we've started these templates for you, it's just very basic text. So put in pictures, add a link to your website, add anything that's your information when you're sending out these emails. What do you think, Glenn?
I think that's exactly what it was. I'm just reading a message from Edward. Edward, I remember. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get. Zach, good man. He'll be able to help you. Okay, I think, so Edward's talking about an issue he had where phone numbers with periods in them were not working for texting. The only other thing you can do is to make sure that it is with, it does say that the contact is in the USA. You may have to check that. Where's my notepad? I need to make a note of this. Looks like I'll be looking at your account again, Edward. Just zip this over here. That's one of the advantages of these webinars. You've got both Heather and I'm part of what we call the resolution team, but I also assist with the onboarding team. So I do have a little bit of the tools to look into this stuff. And then I have my
wheels turning.
What's that?
So he's got my wheels turning. I'm wondering, like, how is this? What's going on here?
I have a couple ideas, but I'll look into them. But fortunately, then we have Heather, who is an expert at onboarding. She is one of the ones that will get this taken care of. Edward, I'll make sure that you get help. This is one that we'll make sure of. Okay. I've got a note for it. We will reach out to you. I'll see what I can get somebody to do on that one. So we're going to go over to marketing. And again, as I say, as an onboarding expert, I'm going to ask you to explain templates and task plans, Heather, because I know you have a much better way of explaining it than I do. So tell me what to do.
You do this a lot. So looking at templates, if we can click on template library here. So first, if you're on Top Producer right now, you're going to click on the marketing on the left-hand side. And then you're going to go to template library. So below here, these are all templates that we have available that are already made here for you from the system. And so we have for like current buyer, current seller, events, there's all kinds. You might even have your own templates already drawn up that you really like using that don't suit any of these here. And then you can add your own from scratch as well. Right at the very top, you'll see a little button there that says add from scratch. And that's just going to give you a blank canvas. If you, like I said, you already have email templates available you want to use, or something out of your head, add it from scratch. Otherwise, I would pick anything in here, go through them, pick the ones that you know are going to suit for you and your business that you're likely going to use, and hit the customize template at the bottom. So this is what I mean here, where you're going to put in not just your name, but read the email and does this read for you? Does this is this something you would say? Change a word or two, add links to your website, add pictures, make it bold, whatever you want to do. But you're sending this out to your customers, so you want to make sure that the information they're getting sounds like it's coming from you in your business. Also, I do suggest as well going over these templates before we start with plans. And the reason I suggest that is because a lot of times you might add emails to your plans that you create. So you want to make sure your emails are already taken care of. And don't worry that even if you create them here, this is also your library. They're going to be stored here whenever you want to send them anytime. But when you go to send it at that specific time, if you don't have it on auto send, you do have that option to make a little adjustment again before it sends out. So even if it's like a location or a date or a time that you need to quickly change, you can do that again, but the most of it's already there for you.
Perfect. And I hope I didn't distract you by jumping. Somebody dropped something upstairs.
We got a question here about letters.
Yes. So Gina asked what about letters instead of emails? I'll take this one, Heather, since I typed out an answer, but I'll answer it here as well. Letters have not been incorporated into Top Producer X yet. At the time we were making X, we were looking that people were going more towards the digital foray. So the realm of doing emails and text messages was the more important. We got feedback from our customers on that. And we got told that that's all well and fine. We sound like we know what we're doing, but we don't. So you do still have access to our original version of Top Producer. This X is our new version. Our Top Producer 8i does have emails or letter templates, but they are coming to X. This here down in the bottom corner is our feedback button. Go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to try to see if it works on this browser because I've changed browsers for today just to see. Hey, worked on the first try. That's awesome. You can go in here and make suggestions or even search for other items. So let's see if we have any letters.
It's right there at the top.
Yep. Now, you might see something that says closed, declined, or coached. This means that it's being moved over to the fact that there's a lot of people asking for it. So right here, TPX, marketing, printing letters. You can see it's got 279 requests right now. So it is something very popular. I like how right here says agreed, print is not dead. So we heard you. We are trying to work on getting that out for you, and hopefully it won't be too long. So Gina, if you have a chance, go into your TPX, click on feedback, come over here and look for this one here and click on the thumbs up here for I want this, because there you go. Yeah, we're up to 280 just from me putting my finger on there as well. I'm pretty sure if I were to go through all these 200 users, all of our onboarding team has probably asked for that because they hear it on a daily basis. And a lot of our front end support team has asked that because we hear it on a daily basis.
That's true. I kind of sit in the middle of this one, though. I mean, obviously, I'm not sending out any prints myself. However, just as being someone that gets stuff in the mail, again, like sometimes it's nice and it's like, oh, that's nice, they're thinking of me. Then there's some times where it probably goes right into a recycling bin. So I wouldn't probably click on your 2,000 customers and send them all something, but it might work for your favorite ones that you want to keep in touch with as well.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that we're definitely looking to take care of. And again, Top Producer X, we're trying to design it with feedback from you folks because you're the experts. We're just the ones who can build it for you, but we want to know what you need. The more feedback we get on a specific feature, the higher it gets put on the list of additional parts of the software. So make sure you do click on that feedback and check to see the things that you'd really like to see in here. I'm pretty sure most of it, you're not going to be the only one who's asked for it.
And, honestly, when it comes to emails and or letters, it's great. And I think it's beneficial to send out the important information that your clients need to get. my suggestion and opinion is to stay clear of spamming your contacts with email and or letters, and maybe do something that stands out to them and remembers you. Like they remember you because it's something unique and or special that you've done. Like, so my pumpkin story, this will probably never get old, but I have a friend that's a realtor, and he every year at fall delivers pumpkins. I mean, it's not a huge gesture, but it is. I mean, that's something that, everyone will remember. I got a pumpkin, not just a letter in the mail or something. So, I mean, use these, send out the information that's really important or to grab people's attention, but I wouldn't use these to spam and or for letters, right? So, I think it's important, the information that you do send out. Now, if we look at task plans, this can be a mix of sending those emails that need to go out and or reminders for you. These are like, I need to make that phone call. I have some paperwork that I need to have ready for the sale. But this is your tasks for you to be reminded of things that you need to do.
I should grab an actual task list and not just something. There we go.
There we go.
It helps if I have the actual information here for me and Heather to actually explain it to you. Because as she said here, now this is a mixed task plan. And you can have it call your new lead or even send your market snapshot on day one of having the lead put in. Day two, you'll have an email that can be sent. Now, if I click on here where it says edit task, this is where I can actually set it to auto send. And you'll notice I pulled up one of our templates. Now, this is one I created, but I added it in.
And this is why I suggest making sure you have your templates ready before you create your plan. So then you can just add your templates already done.
Yeah. And like Heather said, I've got this one set not to go auto because you never know. You might have something that you want to actually put into there and you want the system to remind you, hey, I need to send this email out. And you can edit the email before you send it. But if you want to be able to just send it because you know you're good with your template, you just go ahead and click auto send and save the task. So that means that email, when it comes up, I don't have to do anything. It's just going to go. But this is just a quick 7-day task plan. It just gives me the pertinent things to do to make sure that I don't miss communicating with this client. That is one of the key things. You don't ever want to miss your follow-up, right, Heather?
Absolutely. Now, and there's a way to do this, add these plans individually to your contacts, but as well as to multiple contacts at a time. And then when you're, obviously day to day, you're not going to have to go into each contact's record to find out who do I need to call or who do I need to send an email to. You're going to go to your tasks tab over. I don't know if I'm jumping too far ahead.
Not really.
You're going to click on your tab or your task tab over on the left. And then that'll show you the plans. So whoever you've added a plan to, things that need to get done. There you go. This is where you're going to see it all.
Yeah, so you can see here that you have these different options: overdue, today, tomorrow, next 7 days, important dates. That's an important one because this is where you put your birthdays in and home anniversaries. You'll see you've got a household just like that. An actual wedding anniversary is with this one here. House anniversary right there with that. I don't know why this one came up as a birthday but didn't have the birthday cake because that's important. But you can also do a custom date range. You'll notice here that it's just doing a 2-week range. If I were to go back, say, to the beginning of November. Well, first of all, I still got a lot of overdue tasks, so yikes. But you can do this for yourself and find out what has been assigned to you and what you were doing. Overdue is also ones that you can take care of, but the most important ones you're going to look at are today, tomorrow, and 7 days. That way, especially, I know you all work Monday to Friday, plus Saturday and Sunday because people have to have those showings and weekends are a great time. That's why we recommend having today, tomorrow, and the next 7 days, so you can make sure your whole week is organized. So that's one of those super important ones. Got anything to add to tasks there, Miss Heather?
Well, I mean, organization is key. Another thing I do like about important dates though, is that, going along with sending out those emails that are spam, instead of just sending out emails that are, not really, you can send out ones that are going to make the person again be like, this person's taking interest in me. So you're going to send them an email on their birthday or a special date, not just the regular holidays. When it's been a year since they bought their house, or their kid's graduation, or their trip of a lifetime.
You wouldn't know of anybody who took a trip of a lifetime that she has an important note to remind herself.
I went to Paris a few weeks ago. So, I mean, just think, if I was getting ready to sell my house or buy a new house, and I was dealing with an agent, and I said, I'm going to Paris, I'm so excited, and they reached out to me before my trip and said, you know what, thinking of you, have a great trip. That's just, again, a way that you can connect with your customers, and they're going to think of you. So again, that's also your referral.
Yeah. And I bug Heather by this. I like to try to make sure she tells that story about the pumpkins and about Paris in every single webinar we do.
Yeah, I'm just going to need to take some more trips so we can change it up a bit.
Yeah, well, I went to Alaska a couple of months ago too by a cruise. So I get it. That was a great trip as well.
Amazing.
Absolutely fun. Yeah, so let's see what's next, because we added, that was bonus content there. Nicely done, Heather. I like how you get that bonus content in all the time.
Absolutely.
So now we're going to actually talk a little bit more about that. So since we brought it up, important dates, property insights, notes, and tasks. So we've given you a little bit of an overview, but let's go into it a little bit deeper here. Let me find a contact. I'm going to use my Heather's demo because I think I had a couple in there. I know this girl, Heather. Let's click on this and see what we've got going on here. That is not your picture.
That doesn't look like me. Oh, but what email are you using?
Oh, Heather@test.com. That's just a random photo. Actually, I may have to check LinkedIn and Twitter later for that.
Yeah, so how this should work is that the email that you have on file is that connected to the social media, and if it's public. So if you have, I mean, a lot of people do have social media, but a lot of people might stay private as well. So if their account is set to private, you're not going to see this information. Obviously, this isn't me in the picture, but this also is not my email address.
No, we just did a very quick test contact one day, and neither one of us bothered to go back and look at it. But apparently on LinkedIn and Twitter, there's a digital transformation advisor, board director, and mentor who has the email address of Heather@test.com. So this is one of those things that if you do ever see that this image here is wrong, and I know that she's not a digital transformation advisor, board director. She is a mentor, but the other two, I would call you a mentor, but the other two don't apply. This is something that our team is still working on. It all comes down to the email address here. So sometimes people use an email address, company email address on something, and then it gets moved to another person. If they give you that email address, or if you still have it as part of your database, it could redirect the wrong way. Let us know. We'll get that taken care of. That's where this handy dandy little chat icon in the bottom right here comes in handy. And that's another bonus tip, isn't it?
Absolutely. So our chat here down at the very bottom, just remember, we are real people down here. We're not robots. So you can get us Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or if you're out in the East, it's 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. East Coast. And again, we're real people. If it might come off sometimes because, it's sometimes quicker to do a copy and paste, but you're talking to a real person. It's not a bot, which is fantastic. Because I know I enjoy chat. I feel like I can do that and get other things done at the same time. But I do find it very frustrating when I go to a chat and I know it's like an automatic bot because it's not going to answer the question I'm actually asking.
Yeah. The funniest thing I ever got asked one time is if they asked me on chat if I was a bot, and I said if I was a bot, they designed me poorly because my knees are not liking me today. So hopefully you get somebody with a sense of humor when you ask that. But yeah, we are real people. Sorry, Heather, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's great. And I mean, worst comes to worst, if we can't help you by any means over chat, we will make sure to reach out to you by phone so we can get any issues if you have any or any of your questions answered.
Yeah. And it's usually hold time is within 1 minute. But if you do find it's a little bit longer, please know that, again, it's humans on the other side. They're answering as quickly as possible they will get you. But now let's go back to the important part of this page, because Heather and I both got completely sidetracked by the fact that that is definitely not her.
Are we working on property insights?
Yeah, let's go to property insights. I like that.
This is one that I like too. And so if you do work with buyers, this is going to be for you and your buyers, mostly for you, because it's going to keep you organized. So we're going to go to add property insight. Okay, and so you could either pull the number right from the MLS, and this is also going to be the MLS board that you've added, or you can also put in the address. Now, if you start typing in the address, it will pull up, it will populate for you. So once you see the address come up, and let's hope that this is address that is actually active under the MLS.
I'm trying to remember my mother-in-law's address, but I can't. I'm horrible about that. I just drive there on autopilot.
I know what it looks like.
There we go. We've got something.
Perfect.
Tampa, Florida. Okay. So you'll see it's going to bring up areas from all over the place. Apparently there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th Street in so many different places, but not in the Seattle area. Let me find that address here real quick, Heather, just so that I look like I actually know what I'm doing. Aha. And actually it was easier just to grab a very quick area. So this is an actual property. I just grabbed it from the MLS. It's not for sale, but it's there.
Okay, so now, we're going to go ahead. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, you can actually see the interest. So if somebody is actually interested in this property and what it has, 2 beds, 1 bath, 672 square feet, not a bad price. This is where you can put the interested in, and you have these options. Now I'm just going to put interested in and then save it and then give it back to Heather to continue.
All right. So think of your property insights as kind of like, I guess you can see kind of like a journal or your note sheet on all the properties that you've shown your customer. Either you've shown them or they've inquired on it, or even maybe 1 or 2 that you're thinking, hey, you know what, I think they're going to be interested in this property. So we'll also add it to the list. So then here where it says interested in, then you get to change it anytime, like whether you showed it to them, they're interested, they're not interested. But make your notes. So right above it, you got your little notepad, and right to the right there. There we go. Awesome. So now you can say on your little notepad about this property why they weren't interested or why they were, because now you want to make sure that they're going to only see the houses that fit them and their needs, right? Don't keep showing them properties that they're not interested in. That's going to waste both your time. So from here, once they've found the house that they love and they decide, you know what, this is the one for me, I'm going to put an offer in on it. Now we're going to change it from interested, make your offer. Hopefully the offer doesn't get rejected, because we're going to go ahead and make a transaction. What do you think?
You notice it just has a blue button there when you say make offer.
Yeah. It just does the steps for you. I mean, you got to put in the work. You got to put in a little bit of work, obviously. We all do.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it I like how it has this option of bringing up the transaction. It's going to pull a lot of the information from the MLS.
One thing that it always requires you to put in is the property type. This is because so many different MLSs have their own type of property types. What we call a single family in one MLS may actually not be called single family. It could just be called single. So you do have to do that. So we'll just single family. We'll go with Heather again.
All right. So then from here, you can add anything else that you like that's beneficial for you on your transaction, as well as all your dates. And then the dates are great because that can correspond with any of the plans that you add. If you add a transaction plan, it'll pull from these dates that you've added.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things. If you have to make any changes to the dates, the plans will actually update with those changes. So you're not just constantly stuck on a certain time frame. If, let's say, listing date, we're just going to use 2005. We'll say that we put in an offer today. Now, if I have a task plan attached to this, and all of a sudden this offer date changes, or the expiration date has to change, it will automatically update any tasks that are associated with either the offer date or the offer expiration date. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. You laughed at me. But that's one of those things that makes it a lot easier. You can also put in your commissions type. There's flat, first and remainder, dollar amount. And for those of you who are under a broker, you can put in here how much they get from the percentage. If you have a referral, you can put in what the fee was for that. If you do give out fees, I'm hoping that people are giving you referrals because, again, easy marketing right there. And lastly, source. Finding out where you found the person from is always good. So this will tell you if your lawn signs are working out well, if your personal web page is working out, a Facebook Live, or any of these. It also, Realtor.com and Zillow, it can tell you if your dollars that you're spending on your advertising and leads is working out for you. And then, of course, showing instructions and terms, you can just add that. You'll notice there's just a few things that are required. Like, basically, the listing date will always be pulled. Transaction status, representation are always required. Property type, since we don't put it in, and list price. List price will be pulled from the MLS, but if you want to change that, you can. And then we just go down to the very bottom and add transaction. And you'll notice it's already set Heather up as the primary buyer, and it's already made me the primary agent. So I'm helping Heather buy this property, which said it was actually built in 1968. So there might be some home improvements you can do on that one. Even better, it could be one you could flip. Who knows, right?
I actually took my interior design, and so I really like to walk into a house and see, like, in my head what can be done to it.
Yeah, if you walked into ours, you'd look and walk out. Not very interior design designed for interior design.
I mean, mind you, I don't really do much in that because I am renting and it costs a lot of money.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So that's one of the advantages of, oh, Jeremy asked a perfect question, which I'm on a screen that I can answer this so easily. He says, what about past transactions put in the old top producer? Can those be transferred to the new one? Jeremy, as long as you are the main user, when you go into top producer and go under transactions, you're going to see this button here that says import 8i closings. It has to just be closed transactions. It can't be any that are in progress or just new, still in the listing phase. It does have to be the closed ones. So you can bring in your import history. This account that I've created here is only doing stuff through Top Producer X, so it wouldn't be able to pull anything in. But we'll just click on this button here, and it will just say, are you sure you want to import your 8i closings? Only closed paid closings in their notes will be imported. Associated tasks will be excluded. So that's one of the other reasons why you want to make sure that it's closed. But once you click on this, it's going to start pulling them over. Now, if you do have some that are still in pending state or not completed in 8i, you can do this. Go ahead and finish those ones that you're working on, and then press that button again. We have a built-in duplicate checker. We have tested that time and time again because you don't need to have the same property in your MLS or in your top producer 20 times because you're having to do that. So you can take care of that and you don't have to wait until they're all done. But just whenever you need to, click on this button.
Absolutely.
Cool. Now let me see. I think, we need to go back to important dates and tasks. So let me go back to recent. I like this recent button because it does show the most recent people you've worked with. So I can quickly and easily get back to Heather's account. So let's just say she's putting it in, she's putting in the wow, my brain just, thank you. We did the property insight and she sent in a
Transaction.
Thank you. My brain is just stopping for some reason. If you want to do any of the tasks, so she's put in an offer, we can apply a plan. And I'm going to go back and do this a little bit slower. Tasks down here. You'll get this here and it'll come up and bring up all tasks that are available. Now, because of the fact that she's put in a specific, wow, I'm just failing today, aren't I, Heather? Because she's put in an offer, I'm just going to grab, let's say that I have a post-offer plan. So I'm just going to grab testing here, which is absolutely empty. So we're going to try something else.
Do we have buyer under contract?
Yeah, I just haven't imported into this one. I'm just going to use my simple lead conversion plan because for right now, it helps. I'm telling you, I have to reset this account. It is so broken, it ain't funny. I test too much and break stuff too much. But you'll notice it will come in, it will apply the plan. It has all the information. And we know before that I'd set this one, this task here, oops, this email to auto send. So it has all the information here and it will auto send out for you. It's going to tell me today to make sure I call and say, hey, your offer's been set in, woohoo, or hey, they came back with something. So we have to take care of that. This is all here. You can also see it under your simple lead conversion. There's going to be a new tab here for the task. If all of a sudden they come back and this is your after offer task. If they come back and say, well, no, we want a different price, and the client says, well, no, I'm not interested in this anymore. You can just stop the whole plan by clicking unapply and then clicking unapply again. It'll remove everything. Yeah, it's that easy. And important dates. Let's see. I'm going to try to do this by memory. December. Okay.
Are we talking about the day that I went?
Yes, let me see if I can remember. I'm pretty sure you flew out on the 13th.
I flew back home on the 13th. Yeah, it was a sad
I
day.
knew the 13th was an important
It was
day.
a sad day.
So it was the 4th then, right? Or 5th?
It was the 6th. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was the quickest trip I've had overseas. So, you know, I decided I was going for the Christmas markets a few years ago before COVID hit. And I decided this was a year it was happening. Nothing was stopping me. I was going for the Christmas markets. And so I kind of I planned the trip really quick. So I went to Strasbourg, beautiful, highly recommend. And then I did Paris for a few nights on my way home.
Awesome. Yeah. And then as you can see here, because of the fact that she left on the 6th, I can now have this as a repeat annually thing. So I can put this in as an important date.
I'm going to Paris every year. Okay.
I don't know if I could live with you if you went every year. But I'd be very happy for you. We'd be like missing you for the time you're gone. But this way I can always, this year on the 6th of December, I can be like, man, can you believe it was a year ago that you were on a plane going to Paris? What are your big plans now? So that's the way you've got that little extra bit of back and forth. And even a few days before December 6th, I could send out an email saying, hey, I know you went on that life-altering and once-in-a-lifetime trip last year. What do you got planned for this year? Anything cool?
Absolutely. That is your way to keep in touch with your customers, but remembering something about them and bringing that up. And then it grabs their attention, especially like myself that loves to travel. If somebody wants to talk travel to me, I'm all over it. So maybe they had a baby or whatever the case may be.
Or got a new puppy, or their puppy decided to go play in the snow instead of doing their business.
Yeah, my puppy loves playing in the snow. Not so much myself. I don't know why I live in Canada and I'm not a winter person at all. And it's almost half the year here. So
West Coast, we don't get as much, although we did get it last week, or a couple of weeks ago, but you took your weather back. I appreciate that. So this is where you can take care of all of that, the important dates, your property insights, and your tasks. These and notes, obviously. I think notes is one of those things on the main dashboard. You'll get a recent notes, but this is where you can see all of your notes. And one thing that we didn't mention, but I'm going to go over quickly because we have like 20 seconds. You can actually readjust these as well. So if you want emails at the top, important dates at the top, relationships up there, you can adjust these. You can pick the one you want to be your default. So it'll default to that tab when you come to any client, and this would change for everybody. So if I jump over to the next person, you'll notice they're all in line. If I were to change emails to the default, I'll close this quickly. I know I'm going quick. I apologize. I'm going to go over and test right over to this. And again, on this, you can reset to defaults. And there you go. Back to normal.
Exactly. And again, it gives you that option to customize it for your own liking, which is pretty neat.
And hey, we almost did it in under an hour, Heather. We're actually getting pretty good at this, almost within an hour.
Yeah. All right. So any last questions? Going once?
Well, while you're typing up any last questions. You know, Heather's other job, she does to do a lot of, what do you call that? People that, auction. She's an auctioneer.
Oh yeah, no. I don't think I could never talk that fast. Fast, but not like that. That hurts my ears.
I do see you saying yes. Go ahead and type that out and we'll answer it for you.
And we are going to get to your question from earlier, Edward, and help you out with that. Absolutely.
That one we're more than likely going to have somebody reach out and call you because of the fact that that one is an ongoing issue. I want to make sure somebody's got you taken care of. For those of you who are still here and following along, our support site at support.topproducer.com. Reach out there for quick and easy self-help questions. You can also go to our webinar schedule and recordings. This link will not be the same next week, Edward. So let me just go over to easy way to get to our support site. Click on your icon up here in support site. If you click on webinar schedule here and webinar sign up, it will take you to the different ones. You can see we've got another getting started with Top Producer X CRM that Heather and I will host. Strategies to help grow your business in 2023, which is myself and another coworker. And then this same one will be again on next Thursday. If you want to sign up, just click on it and it will get a register now. So it will be a different link. We do have to create them differently for each week. With that said, if you just sign up here, you'll have the new link for next week. And yeah, it's at the, let's see, go back over here. Now, we also have our blog at topproducer.com/blog. That's where we put up most of our new information. And we do have new little tips and tricks there now and then as well. Our YouTube page at youtube.com/topproducersoftware, which is where our videos do get set up and put. And finally, our Facebook user group at facebook.com/group/topproducersoftware.
Exactly. This isn't the only video you're going to get. We have a ton of videos already pre-recorded.
Yes. And finally, because of the fact that my amazing hostess, Heather here, was ahead of them, the email, if you need help for support@topproducer.com. Again, use this for non-mission critical items. If you do have a very serious item, you need to get a hold of us. Monday to Friday. Oops, let's go back. Why did it do that? Computers. Our live chat on the bottom right hand of your Top Producer CRM, and also on the support site. You can get our assistance anytime from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're more than happy to help you. So, Edward, like I said, I'm going to look at your account. I'm also going to see if we can get someone to reach out to you. We will do what we can. Hopefully, those of you who've been here and stuck around the whole time, we might see you again in another one. For those of you that are using Top Producer 8i and would like to see how to move over to X, we do have that tomorrow. That'll be me and Heather again. So you'll get to enjoy this amazing back and forth banter that hopefully you all enjoy as much as we do. But for now, I think that's it. We'll make sure you looked after, folks. We thank you for your time. I know we went a little bit over time, but we thank you for hanging in, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next one. And like I said, I'll reiterate, Edward, we're going to have someone take care of you. That should not be bothering you this long. So we'll take care of you. I'll get somebody on that, and we will talk to you all the next time. Hopefully we'll see some of you tomorrow if you're 8i users, or at any of our other webinars. Happy to have you. Happy to answer your questions.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
You bet. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.